Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back in the final, well, the final main series episode of Macross 7. After that we of course have Encore, Dynamite 7, The Galaxy is Calling. But for now, let's find out how the show ends. I was going to remind us of what happened last time though.
The last time, the crew. Well, first, Kaepernick wakes up, and it's merged. Their physical true form is merged with their captured form. Um, and we're told in Macross 7 that we discovered that basically Kaepernick is a spiritual black hole that will suck up the entire galaxy when it wakes up. Ergo, that's why they needed the spiritual form to be able to survive. Otherwise, they kill everything and then go back to sleep. There's a question: if they did kill everything, how did the Centrati survive and humanity, who's been around for millions, billions of years? I mean,
They didn't say
I
they
guess they
killed
killed,
everybody, they just drained everybody,
yeah,
which is
the galaxy.
comas.
I guess. I mean, if they're drained and they can't feed themselves and like that, then you know.
Well, they
But
drained
anyway,
enough that they couldn't get
yeah, they
any
drink
more,
quite a
which
bit of life. Yeah,
doesn't mean that they got everybody. It just means that they got so much that they couldn't live off of what was left.
and
So the Wraith, Dark
yeah.
Atlantis.
hmm And so they devise a plan to transform the big gun in Battle 7 to be an amplifier, essentially, or sound energy, and fire it at Gepernick to destabilize them, and that will send them back to sleep, I suppose. So they go back to Veruja, jump in Battle 7. Meanwhile, Basra is in intensive care, on the edge of death. Mylene tries to revive him through singing, but that doesn't work. So she decides, well, I'm gonna sing. We're gonna have to do this without him, and she does. And there's a battle, but in the middle of it, while Mylene confesses that while she does care for Gamelin, she also cares for Basara. And Gamelin is like, yes, I'm jealous, but hey, you gotta sing, so you do your thing, right? I'm gonna be a gentleman about it and not, get in the way. He's angry, but he seems to be more angry about being jealous than angered fueled by jealousy.
To be fair, all he says in the moment is the singing is all that matters right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but early in the episode, he starts punching walls like, I shouldn't be jealous.
Right, but
Why
he
am I
doesn't say any of that to her either.
Yeah.
It's just you're saying he's implying all this stuff. I'm just pointing out that all he said was singing is the most important thing right now.
And because I think because of the attack, or it wasn't enough, what they end up doing is destabilizing Gepernick. Because the threat of Gepernick is that they're like a spiritual black hole. They suck up they can suck up most, if not all, of the spiritual of the galaxy, which would be bad for everybody who gets, zombified. And that would be bad. So they try to use the main gun, like I said, to destabilize and even put them back to sleep, according to what the protoculture said, right? Protoculture records in the temple, and the, I guess, either hologram or the last of the protoculture they talked to. But I'm not really sure on that one. We think it is actually was a person, but could have been just a computer. And they try, but the gun breaks up at the last moment. So instead of defeating Gepernick basically goes out of control and starts expanding. And Basara does a Jedi mind trick thing and talks to Mylene in her head, or maybe it's Mylene remembering something that Basara said. Either way. And that's the end of the episode. They try to defeat Gepernick, but of course it was the second to last episode, so it wasn't going to happen. So now we see what's going to happen now.
It could have happened. I mean,
Could
that
have,
was what I was
didn't.
expecting. I was expecting the payoff to be here, and the last episode to be, this is where they go,
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's kind of weird in hindsight that they made Gepernick the leader.
What do you mean?
The one who threatens to ruin everything. Like, there's specifically one Proto-Devlin that has an uncontrollable thirst for all the spiritual in the galaxy. Like, none of the other ones. Like, even if Sybil went on a rampage, I don't even think she could, suck out the spiritua of an entire planet, let alone, the galaxy. Same for the rest of them. I guess maybe Grabble could, because they like devour parts of planets. But then if there's like tons of inhabited planets, even Grabble couldn't get the whole galaxy. So the
I think it's a
person
matter
that the Proto-Devlin put in charge is the only one of them that can go out of control and suck out the entire galaxy.
Well, I think it's a matter of that they're just ultimately the strongest, right? And the cleverest. Because the other ones are kind of one note, and they are the ones who came up with a plan and structure things, right? It's like
Giggle had plans.
Yeah,
Giggle woke up the same time Gepernick did.
Yeah, but Giggle was all about just draining spiritua. That's it. That was the only plan they had.
Yeah, then he came up with plans to save Sybil.
Yeah, but not plans that would further the.
His plan to get Spiritua was also the plan to wake up other Proto-Devlin.
Well, wake up one Proto-Devlin. In fact, he did it without Gepernick's permission. He just went ahead and did it.
Right, but then he was still gathering more Spiritua for the effort to wake up the other Proto-Devlin after that.
No, after that, he's just chasing Sybil all around because it's like Sybil just disappears. And it's like, oh, Sybil, 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 Sybil. And he dies screaming about Sybil.
No, but he's part of the assaults that gather more Spiritua. Because remember, there's the whole timeline where he's like super upset at Gepernick for not making him in control of all the missions. Because Gepernick starts like sliding him down the scale.
Yeah, because he went off script.
No, he was still gathering Spiritua during those efforts.
Yeah, but revived Sybil. That's when she was. Gepernick was like, okay, I can't trust this guy.
I don't understand your argument here. I'm arguing that Giggle is creatively minded and a leader, and you're like, no, he keeps going off and doing his own shit. It's like, yeah, because he's creatively minded and can adapt to the situation.
Yeah, but he's not. He's clearly not the strongest, although he did destroy a planet. But probably second strongest.
And arguably, he also is able to get his body out when he wants to, versus Gepernick, who couldn't until the very end.
I think it's still a matter of who's the strongest, because that's what we see. You went from the weakest to the strongest.
Arguably, we saw Giggle get into a bunch of fistfights. Gepernick did not.
I don't. That's not, I think, what I mean by strongest.
Well, I don't know what measure you're being strongest by. Again, Giggle could access his body, so obviously he's got strongest there. He's on the ground doing shit, so physically he's stronger. He's doing everything. Gepernick is doing nothing. So, not quite sure where the strongest measure comes from.
Oh, if they have the ability in their full form. I mean, they could teleport things at will, which Giggle never was able to do, right?
Okay, big whoop though, because we got a bunch of shit with fold technology in it. So
and when Sybil challenged him, he was like, be gone, right? In their human form.
Right.
So
I'm assuming it's actually Gepernick connecting to his actual body. And his actual body uses the power. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like remote control.
Yeah, well, with any of them at any moment. Oh, you want to mess with me? You go back to the ice. Screw you.
Sure. I think we did beat Charlie in Twilight Zone, though, so... people did get out of the cornfield at one point.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's really hard to have an argument when you freeze in the middle of your points. I got like nothing to come back at you with when I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, I hear you now. Your whatever your counter argument was to me, you like froze for like 5 seconds, and then came back in the middle of saying something. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to assume that I'm right and move on.
Kaepernick could dispense with any of them at any time, like just teleport them away if it wanted to, right? Which is something that at least Giggle had to force himself to be back in his full form to do the whole destruction thing. But when he wasn't that, I mean, he was just like a normal person. You know, he had to fight fighters, he had to punch people. You know,
Yeah, all
even
things
Sybil
that he
could,
did.
yeah, but not. You know, it's like I imagine that if Giggle had tried to challenge Kaepernick, it was like back to the ice with you.
He's already in the
That's it.
ice, technically.
I mean,
He's not
his
like
physical form.
Civil, because Civil's a proto-devlin body. Giggle
Yeah,
is just in some dude's body.
and it's
But
like, but
apparently
he
he's
could,
modified, by the way.
and he could just, like whatever, you're gone,
I think the
right?
problem here is that we're attributing to Kaepernick something that they've done like 3 times, but have never done it like when it was vitally important for them to do a mission or something.
Oh, that's true, but
Like the idea that Kaepernick can teleport anything, then why did we send all this shit out to capture Basara? Why did we just Basara's here now? You know?
I think they have to see what they're, they don't. Okay, let me put it this
You
way.
remember when Basara was like literally right in front of him after they fired the speaker pod thing into the ship? And
Yeah, but the
he was
speaker bot.
literally showed us like, looking down the speaker pod at Basara, like saw his face and everything.
Yeah, but that time the spiritual really hurt him. Hurt him. Like the speaker was like blasting, like ah, you know.
Oh, okay. So he's not very strong then. He's hurt by loud sounds.
Oh, he's hurt by the spiritual, like everyone else.
Okay. So points for Giggle, who can now sing and do stuff with music.
I mean, he didn't sing that well, but I
So
don't think
apparently,
that.
we can just take out we can take out Kaepernick now because Giggle can sing.
Yeah,
And
but ultimately, I mean, one thing that Giggle says, like, I just want to absorb spiritual, right? Yeah, I just want to feed. So if you leave
actually,
it to
technically,
Giggle,
no, because remember one of his infiltrator guys said you're down to like 42%. You could die if you don't feed. And he says, I don't care.
yeah, because he was upset with Sib.
Yeah. So he can put his own
I,
concerns aside to
I don't,
accomplish other
I don't,
missions.
I don't think Giggle would have been a good leader.
Arguably, Giggle was also able to take in other people's emotions and think about what might be. So if Giggle was the leader, we may have already had peace by now, which I think makes him probably the better leader.
And not from the point of view from the point of view of Macross, certainly, because the war's over. From the point of view of the Proto Delvin, it's like, okay, so we made peace. Now what?
Well, now that we're at peace, we can give you the drugs that we gave the Zentradi to make you not hostile all the time.
Yeah, but their thing is they need spiritual. So
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
don't
but
get
I'm sure.
if
Look, there's people out there
they-
that want you to eat them in real life. You don't think there's a couple of people that were like, hey, suck me off, you know?
I don't think that's gonna work.
I literally think it would, especially now that we have like infinite music, right? There's got to be people out there that are into it. There's probably a whole fetish thing.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know the
think
people that like to asphyxiate or hell, I remember back in high school there was a bunch of kids that loved to I don't know, can't look do it. You just put your arms together like that so you cut off the carotids and you like just pass out. There's a bunch of people who would just be down for it, just be put me unconscious.
I don't. The thing is, I think other people will go like, I don't want you to do that because that's harmful to you.
Right, but personal choice is a big thing.
It is up to the point where you're feeding someone else and
Oh, God forbid we give somebody else life that they need. I mean,
and
you don't
yeah.
lose anything from spiritual loss other than you get sad and tired. And
Oh, you could get unconscious and you could probably die,
oh
if
yeah,
it does.
unconscious is not. Putting unconscious in the tired category. I go unconscious every day. I'm still alive.
I
I'm
mean,
just saying. I've been describing it jokingly as like a mini vacation. Because all you do is you get KO'd and then you get put into a room where you listen to music. No, and you wake back up again a few days later. Probably better than when you started.
I think it's something that wouldn't fly. I mean, it wouldn't fly with me.
I mean, yeah, but you're part of the problem.
What do you mean part of the problem?
Oh, you're not accepting the proto-devlin back in, because if you don't accept them, you're just going to push them away, and it's going to start this problem all over again.
The problem the proto-devlin are not even from this galaxy. They're from another dimension. They should go back to their dimension.
Oh yeah, that sounds like something you would say.
Yes,
we need to build a wall between these two dimensions, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. If you're talking about somebody who wants to work, in the kitchen, I got no problem with that. Hey, more power to you. If you want to be a emotional vampire, it's a little different.
Well, they have to do it to survive. We don't even know if they can go back.
Which is ultimately, I think that should have been the solution. We don't know how they came here, and now they're stuck here. So if we could just find a way, hey, we're from another dimension. Okay, let's open a portal to your other dimension. Go.
Again, I feel like the story of the show is working together to create a better tomorrow, right? We found the Zentradi, we fought the Zentradi, we formed a new society with the Zentradi. And no, the Proto-Devlin, though, fuck those guys. Because they made me tired and depressed.
Yeah, that's probably enough. For me, that's enough.
At the end of the day, the Proto-Devlin have killed less people in the show, right? Obviously not in the backstory, but in the show, they've killed less people than the Zentradi have. And yet we're fine with Milia still.
I mean, she fought to not kill people. So that's good.
Yeah. So did Sybil. We have an example on this side, too. Sybil is the Milia of the Proto-Devlin. All she has to do now is have a kid with Basara. I just don't understand you can't get to the live and let live part of the coming together with the Proto-Devlin.
Hey guys, I don't think it's live and let live. It's live and suffer.
Well, not even that. You don't have to suck everybody dry. Just, hey, a little bit of you, a little bit of you, a little bit of you, a little bit of you.
That's it's no.
It's okay. It's just weird. I just think it's weird. And we found your little, this is what I won't accept. It's obvious. It's even the least effective thing. Not effective. It's the least invasive thing. Right? It's a little bit of energy that you actually don't do anything with anyway. Feel like if everybody in the whole Macross 7 had like an 9-volt battery in their pocket that they were never planning to use, and you're like, hey, can I get a hit of your 9-volt battery? And you're like, fuck no, get the hell out of here. But you're not using it. You're never going to use it. Fuck you, it's my 9-volt battery.
Still my 9-volt battery, so yeah, no.
I need it to live. Fuck you. Go back to where you came from. Weird. It's just a weird stance for me, anyway. All right. Any other nonsense you want to get off the table before we get into this?
We talked much enough about this, yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and get on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Do anything special for the new last opening? No? Cool.
No. They're going to tell us who Flower Girl is. No,
I think I just noticed, it's funny, but the crowd in the opening when he's pans over the audience looks fucking angry. There's one guy's like, just out there in the audience, like, what the hell? So that never happened. I mean, take it in. Unless the Encore or Dynamite start with the same opening last time.
Not a horrible start. It's not an opening, but
I mean, to be fair, one, it has lyrics, so take that SDF Macross.
had lyrics. Yeah, the guy sings the song. It's a it's a lyrical song, not a instrumental.
Not in my memory. At the end of the day,
Kudos.
okay, yeah, they don't say Macross 7 in once during this opening. Hey, it's that dream sequence from before. Wasn't Sybil on top of that mountain?
Apparently.
Oh, she was in the dream sequence before.
Oh, I don't think Battle 7 will survive this. Either way.
Well, I mean, that's why they only took the one. I think in the next time on, we saw her flowers wilt. Really saving money on the sound department this episode, aren't we? Why would you teleport City 7 in? Oh, the whole fleet. I'm even more confused. I assumed that Milia ordered the fleet to jump.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like one of those reckless things that she would do. Do you think Kaepernick teleported everybody here? Because that would invoke a sense of control.
Going by instinct, I suppose.
Well, bye-bye, Battle 7. And they evacuated quick. Oh, seriously? We fucking lose Docker already? Well, I didn't know jets could be cute, but that was pretty cute. This is a real G Gundam moment.
いい加減にしろ化け物がこれ以上大切なメンバーを傷つけさせやしないぞ行くぞ B だ
I'm sorry, was she drumming faster than light? What was that weird? See what?
信じられん歌エネルギーがビヒーダのドラミングが生んでいるのか
So literally anything can make Sound Force.
ガブン隊ミレンを頼むはいミレンさん
Your plane. Your plane can't take it. Your Valkyrie is literally blowing up while you're complaining.
ミレーヌさん待って
バサラいつまで寝てるのよミレーヌいつもならとっくに飛び出してるくせになんでまだこんなところにいるのよみんな頑張ってるのに自分勝手卑怯者起きろバサラ起きろ起きてバサラバサラねえバサラ起きて
Wait, where are we?
ボンバーとか
In the hospital? Remember this whole city?
Yeah, no, I
jumped up.
thought the one, that whole city is wrapped up with the Gepernik's tendrils right now.
No, I think it's wrapping up the thing that they captured earlier.
No, we saw. City 7 was being dragged down.
No, I don't think it was City 7.
No,
I
it
think
was with the dome covered. But also, I thought this was on Battle 7, which is destroyed.
No, it wasn't Battle 7. Remember, because you can see that she was the flower girl.
Flower Girl wasn't ever here.
He was outside the hospital. Remember?
流されてしまう前に Everybody 光を目指せ踊ろうぜ Dance on the planet dance
Literally all it took.
Yeah.
どうしたみんな情けない顔しやがって
Oh, dead. Head cracked on the floor.
よくも俺に歌わせやがって
レックス外でみんなが
Okay. Everybody froze.
So it literally is the Bill and Ted
Everybody sing.
reunion movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts because it could be anybody in the background that we're hearing.
みんな燃えようぜ
Oh, this is so cheesy. So, she spent the entire just to just like put the flowers away. Like, okay, thanks. Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, the acknowledgement that he caught it must mean that he knew all the time that she was there trying to give him flowers.
That's gonna hurt.
I mean, I asked for jamming birds to be coming out here and help, and at least they're here helping, so I appreciate it. At an extremely slow rate, if this is as fast as you can eat up the galaxy. I think we're talking like billions of years for those tentacles to reach across the solar system. I mean, to another solar system.
アインシュタインが
もう終わりですかなプロトデビルあてバサラが歌ってますな
Oh, here's the thing though. In the preview, we see those flowers wilt.
ミレーヌアインシュタインが危ない了解 J3 こちら D1 こちら J3 ガブリン隊ですかジャミングバーズの機体を借りたい CCVU でチェンジ了解
I mean, I guess technically, if Gepernick is draining even its own people,
People, yeah.
well, all of them. Okay. Anyway, that Civil isn't the safest place of all.
頼むぞ了解
Why would you hand off Mylene to somebody else if you could be the pilot protecting her?
No, she's done handling.
No, she's in the back.
Yeah, back of the jamming bird.
Yeah, the jamming bird has a pilot and then the singer's pod. So she would be the singer's pod. Why would...
No,
See,
he's in
that's the
single
pilot
pilot.
right there.
That's Gamlin.
Wasn't Gamlin's... Okay, I must have been confused about the guy saying protect her. I thought Gamlin
thought it-
shoved her towards the pod and the other guy was still in there. Look, they're all wearing fucking helmets. It's hard to tell. You've been right and you can sing the whole time, Ilya.
I mean, he did reach everybody.
Well, I don't even care about the reaching everybody part. I like everybody singing. It's good. It's a good motif. Alright, but what's gonna be the giant boost that gets everybody back into the song?
Sybil.
No, right through the gut. But yeah, the power gabble too. My giggle.
聞こえないバサラの歌力足りない
Can fly through fucking ships. Can't destroy transparent aluminum.
スピリチュ
あの山なんて言ったっけな。ガキの頃あの山を動かそうと思って毎日歌ったな。
今日こそ動かしてやる。
たった一曲の rock and roll
At least this is the start of Basara's not accepting reality arc.
Yeah, I guess so.
Unless the mountain actually moves for some geological reason and it just proves to Basara he can do anything. They took that as a life lesson.
お前を遮るものは何もない今日こそ動かしてやるぜ山よ銀河よ俺の歌を聴け
Well, he got a second wind from nothing, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah. Well, no wonder he won the poll against Sarah. He fucking has her powers.
Told you. I mean, he did it by himself, but
I did this was like one of the few things I didn't argue with you about. Yeah. There's 5 minutes left in the episode to resolve all of this.
無駄の終焉にたどり着いたのかシビル
So I wonder if that is the same voice actress.
he has even Kaepernick singing. This is so silly. I mean, it is what he wanted to do to reach them, I guess.
I mean, Lord Gepernick was also out of control, so an element of being able to control yourself. Nice little halo thing you going on there.
お前の歌我が身のうちにもアニマスピリチアの扉があると尽き果てた夢のかけらの落とし物
ゲペルニック様
もはや銀河に用はない歌こそ真のスピリチアパラダイス行くぞ
はあまさに究極の新鮮美
We're just gonna fucking leave. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, she's finally spoken a full sentence.
Well, she was singing. Like,
いいステージだ
I mean,
No, but I mean,
yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that means nothing anymore. She was fucking singing. That requires so much more than just a full sentence. That's what I was saying. We had 5 minutes left in the episode for everything to get wrapped up.
yeah, it was an ending.
I mean, it's not. Definitely not. We don't know what the fuck they're doing. We don't know what the fuck these people are going to end up doing.
I mean, they're gonna colonize a planet. They're just gonna find a planet to colonize it. That's it. That's what they were supposed to do in the first place. Yeah. He sings to everybody. Everybody wakes up. They're on their way. We never knew who Flower Girl was or why it was so important. Basara still is as enigmatic as ever. He wanted to sing to a mountain. That was his driving force all along. He wanted to move a mountain with his music. Sure.
See, instead of to be continued, it's to be fire.
Yeah.
So, certainly was an ending, I think. Actually, no,
Yeah.
that's been my whole thing, is not an ending. It is the worst way that I hate, worst way that I...
It's a Saturday morning cartoon ending. It's like, oh, I finally reached them. Everybody's happy. Oh, I realized my mistakes.
Well, I'm talking
I-
about, like, from, Gepernick and crew flying away, from the moment just after
Yeah.
that, to which just, alright, pick everybody up out of the wreckage, well, guess we'll figure out what we're gonna do next. It's like, I don't want you to finish that way. I don't want to have to guess what they do next. I want to see them, like, SDF Macross, right? We go through the whole thing, and then we know that the Mega Road 1 launches, and then they'd go off to do that. That is what they do next. These are people still amongst the wreckage. Like, you know, that's like a cliffhanger, except we know that we don't get more of them.
Yeah. It suffers from one of the things that this series has, that it's just kind of unsatisfying. I mean, if you're satisfied by the big reveal and that Basara did the thing, and finally he did the thing and made them realize that trying to be vampires and sucking the life of people is not, and they always had the power in them to be better, I guess. Then sure,
They're trying to be vampires. They are vampires.
They're vampires. Like, oh, basically, this ending is: have you tried not to be a vampire today? Like,
well, it's like what was that zombie movie? The romance one.
Which one? There's
something heart like that.
I don't know.
Oh, well, it's the one where they make zombies into humans again through love.
Yeah.
Cold hearts, warm hearts,
No.
beating hearts. I can't something like that. No, literally, like you have tiers of zombies. You have the zombies that are just normal zombies, and you have the zombies who have given up on everything, and they're the zombies who attack other zombies. But this one tries to be human again, and the girl falls in love with him or something like that, and his heart by the end starts beating again, so he becomes human again.
Yeah, it's like, but the ending again. I'm going to describe it as like, hey, have you not tried to be energy vampires? Have you tried that today? And Gabenik like, you know what? That's something we haven't tried before.
Well, to be fair, Gepernick was pushed to his limit because he obviously was no longer in control of his body. So he was just doing anything, I feel like.
Yeah, following his bestial instinct of survival.
And I figure the same way that you get blood transplants, you can probably get a spiritua transplant. People who volunteer their spiritua to be drained a little bit, get paid for it, just to...
I mean, you can have Basara sing to them.
No, remember that was proven that doesn't work.
It worked with Civil. She got a transplant. No, she got a transplant.
No, remember no. It's Giggle. Giggle drained a bunch of people, and then he goes to Civil holding Mylene hostage and shoots her with all of his stored up spiritual.
Later on, when you have the battle with the twins, right? Whatever the twins were, which died, by the way, they got drained to hell, so they didn't come back. And she confronts Gepernick. Gepernick says like, "Oh, you had spirit. You." Literally, she sees the spirit of Basara in her, like, oh, you have spiritual anima. So somehow
they've constantly done a thing, not constantly, 2 or 3 times, the thing where Basara sings from behind her, and his spirit force goes through her and powers the beam she's using. It's not the same thing. Because the implication that you're posing is when Gabble has been drained by Gamlin in that room where Basara is literally singing to everybody there, and Gabble does not get powered up by the song.
But apparently worked with Sybil because they had that connection.
Well, no, I'm saying it's a different thing. He's using Sound Force as the barrier weapon thing, and that's going through Sybil to power her weapon. So, it seems to be 2 different uses of the same power.
I mean, yeah, either way, it's an ending. It was flashy. Everybody got into, so it has some good ones. It was flashy. It was like, oh, this is the end. Everybody got involved. Everybody got singing, which is pretty good. That's sort of the whole theme of the series. You have to reach the hearts of everybody, right? And ultimately, they reach the hearts of, well, I guess not the enemy. The Proto Devlin were just victims of their own nature, I guess, right? They have to act that way because otherwise they either go to sleep or they die. So in this galaxy, right?
And they're apparently leaving the galaxy.
Yeah, they're living reality. I think they're going home. And I was like, no.
I don't know. The show uses galaxy and universe interchangeably. So
probably. So yeah, again, we're gonna see more of this, but overall,
I mean, there was only 7 of them.
Yeah,
and now there's only 2, 3 of them. No,
3.
Well, we don't know what happens to the twins. They get pulled down, but they weren't there at the end when everyone gets flown away. So just 3. Because technically, Gabble and Grabble are one person. Remember?
So yeah, it's. I certainly don't feel the way I felt in the end of the SDF1. It was like, yeah, that conversation actually sealed the deal. Here's like, Basara just like, yeah, you sung well. I'm like, dude, the entire galaxy. I think that's the thing that pisses me off. Is like the entire galaxy was about to die, and you're like, "Oh, hey, you sound well." Cool.
I don't know. I was incredulous at the idea that these people could have devoured a galaxy because it's just like arm stretching speed. It's arm stretching speed, right? How long is it going to take him to stretch his arms to the next solar system, let alone?
Or at least they were able to devour the entirety of the fleet, which happened to be there. Probably jumped in by Gepernick by instinct.
Maybe. I mean, we know it wasn't in control.
Yeah, so it's like at least everybody that Basara knew was going to die, and so that's thousands, perhaps over 1 million people. That's a lot, you know.
Well, we know it's less
like,
than 1 million.
Yeah, well, clearly now.
Tens of thousands, okay. One person might say.
Mm-hmm. So either way, you know, hey, I still save all these people, but hey, you sing very well, you know. And even we get something of Basara. It's like, oh, what's Basara motivation? He was a kid who could believe that he could sing a mountain away. That's it.
I mean, the motivation's built in, right? Because he's not changed. He has no character development. The character that he was at the beginning is the character he was at the end. So
might as well not give us the Black Mountain thing. It's like, we're gonna see him as a kid, and he's like, oh, I wonder why I wanted to do that. I guess I wanted to do that. Oh, I'm going to do that now. I'm like, so you were a delusional little kid who thought that with this giant guitar you could sing this mountain away. Oh, and you were a vagrant, so we never know where you came from. You're like a lost clone or somebody. You know,
I mean,
just walking around.
But I think the importance of that scene, at least for me, was seeing Ray in the past. Like, apparently, after Stefan died, he went into like the bottle pretty hard. And became a vagrant himself.
And probably helped Basara, you know, as a kid, you know, like he was like his father figure or something. But again, one-sided, because Basara never acknowledges Ray being his father figure and like that, you know. Like, I'm going to take care of this kid. Oh, man, this kid, I took care of it. And Basara's like, whatever.
And there's too many hanging plot threads, I feel like. I mean, not like a super important shit. I mean, like Milia and Max. They kept almost having a conversation about where their relationship was, and it seemed like they were turning it around. And now they're landed their aircraft, and then what?
Oh, they fought together, I guess. You know, just like they did in the old days.
That's why I was saying that it was cute, because they were like right up next to each other, flying formation again. It's just like we don't get that. Like I thought last episode was going to be the wrap up of the combat and everything like that, and then this episode was going to be like emotional relationship stuff. Because otherwise, I think it's just going to end up with Basara, Gamlin, and Mylene in a polycule.
Not even that, because I don't think Basara is actually capable of anything like close to that.
I don't think it even matters anymore what Basara wants or needs or is. Because Gamlin wants Mylene. Gamlin's friends with Basara. Like, he cares a lot about Basara either way. Mylene cares about Gamlin and Basara equally. Basara likes to sing. That's all there is. So it's a polycule whether he wants to be in it or not.
I don't think that's enough for anything, really.
Well, I mean, it is. Gamlin wants to be around Basara. Gamlin wants to be around Mylene. Mylene wants to be around Basara. Mylene wants to be around Gamlin. So, even if Basara doesn't care, wherever he goes, those two are going to go. So, it's a polycule, whether he likes it or not.
Which is dumb.
It might be dumb, but I think it works better than Minmay, Misa, and Hikaru do up until the last episode.
I mean, they become friends.
I said up until the last episode, because all of that struggle from before, who do I like? Who should I be with? And this, everyone just fucking knows. They know where they're at.
Except for Basara.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Okay, now that Basara has done this, does he just become he doesn't care about becoming a media star, right?
Well, he's already number one, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. He never cared for that in the first place. he already reached the galaxy with his song, apparently.
Well, he did care a
years-
little bit in the early on, because early on he was excited to be #1 because more people got to hear him sing.
Yeah, so yeah, he's done. He's like, oh, he's the teen star that just saved the galaxy, and I don't know.
Well, he's not going to stop
Oh, yeah.
singing.
But I think eventually it's gonna fade. People are like, oh, you were the guy who did that. Okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah, but I imagine he's going to be like Simone at the end of Gurren Lagann. He's wandering around with his guitar still. He's not going to stop. He does not
Yeah.
develop as a character.
Yeah, he's a flat note. Which I think with this series needed. If you I said if you're gonna put a character in the center, give me more than I want to sing to the Black Mountain.
Well, that was a weird thing for you to have said during episode 1. Glad it paid off, though. Like, not much. I think the ending is upsetting for me. It is.
It's unsatisfying. It's
Well, it wraps up the combat, but it doesn't wrap anything else up. Like, some of those ships crashed into the planet. What happens to those? Like, the recreation ship, the beaches and everything. That thing landed sucking sideways. People are drowning because there's buildings along the edge. You see through the top of it. How many people? How long is it going to take all the people who did get drained fully to wake up again?
how many concerts this Firebomber has to do in order to wake up everybody.
Well, we know playing the thing over the speakers seems to work too for some reason.
Yeah,
Even though it
But
had
slowly.
no ability to do anything when we were doing that one time where everyone holds a speaker and runs to the city trying to distract the infiltrators. We never did resolve. Are all the infiltrators gone?
I guess so.
How about all the people wearing mind control helmets in the space fleet?
I think they're no longer under mind control because they don't get any more orders. They're like,
I don't
like,
think-
they're probably like they're like slumped like this. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, let me take your.
Or that, or they're going to follow the last order they were given. You know, whatever the hell that was.
Oh, they got drained. This fleet got destroyed when Kaepernick.
The
It's
fleet
bad.
wasn't there.
Where was it?
I didn't see it there the whole episode. Like,
Yeah.
the
That's another-
Kaepernick's command ship was nowhere to be seen.
So basically, they just slumped away. It's like, oh, what's the last? Or last command was, stay here.
Well, I'm sure they had, like, ship keeping orders, right? Because you don't, like,
Yeah.
everybody that has to handle that ship, you don't have to keep. It would be a real annoying thing to have to, like, okay, hold on, I gotta go downstairs to tell the engineering thing to keep doing engineering stuff. Otherwise, they just slump over.
So they're just hanging there doing whatever, tapping in the consoles, fixing things, just being like robots, basically. Like it seems like a black hole, basically. If you saw that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same. They're just doing whatever they're doing.
I'm saying they're still out there, though. Like, we don't resolve anything about them.
I guess you go again. You send Basara to do Sanford thing, knock out their, or just take off their helmets. Like, hey, boom, here's the helmet.
Technically,
Oh,
we didn't
oh.
resolve anything with the people in the spiritual farm.
We don't know where that ended.
Yeah, well, it teleported next to City 7, but, like, those people had to be so psychologically scarred by now because they've just been, wake up, it's drain, undrain, drain, undrain, drain, undrain.
And how they were captured in the first place. That
Yeah.
must have been psychologically damaging as well,
I
whether
know-
they were
and-
Centrati or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, the fact that they were Centrati and they had to be, by necessity of the spiritual farm, close to the people that send them off into crazy jitters anyway.
Yeah. This doesn't do it.
It leaves
Macross
too
7.
much on the table.
Okay, final for Macross 7, the series, not the entirety of Macross 7. No bueno. They tried, but no. They had a couple of good episodes.
I
But
think it's
at the
better
end-
than Macross Plus.
Oh no!
I said I think.
No. Yeah, you think that.
Yeah, well,
That's your opinion, You're
that's
entitled
why
to it.
I said I think.
and that's why I keep repeating it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can't. Look, we're always going to argue that one. You liked Macross Plus. I did not. I I enjoyed this. Obviously, I'm not so happy with the ending, but I enjoyed this more than I did Macross Plus. Even its nonsensical middle episodes were still pretty fun. Like the fun of what the fuck are they doing? What is this? I don't understand that. I had more of that than I did during Macross Plus. Macross Plus hit me with that one thing real early, and it kind of stained the entire thing going forwards. So
I can see that.
even when I watched the movie and I had to recontextualize everything, I was still in. Macross Plus was a serious show, or a serious OVA thing,
Or at
and
least I tried.
I like some fun in my shows.
Oh, I can have fun, but I guess it went past my silly wall. It's like it just went through and like, oh, this is a bit too much. I mean, hey, we're talking about giant rope transforming robots. That's silly. We're talking about flying through space faster than light. That is also silly. Having aliens that can just happen to be just like humans. There's a lot of silly stuff, I know, but there's certain buying, and I mean, let me be honest.
Also, the soundtrack. The soundtrack for me was so much better than Macross Plus.
For me, it was okay.
For me,
It
it's
wasn't
so much.
great. It
It's the
wasn't
best
horrible,
soundtrack
but
in
it wasn't.
Macross so far.
I heard better. But it wasn't horrible and it wasn't great. There's the one song, that slow song that they gave to Mylene, just felt so out of pace that
It
I
was just,
didn't like it. But
just
that
one song.
but it was like it's fine. It's not a thing where I would go, yeah, I want to listen to this again. But if somebody plays it that one time, I'm like, whatever.
I have
Give me another-
actively listened to it on my own.
Give me another beer, I'll be fine, right? It's that song that put at 2:35 in the morning in that party when you're just too drunk to care, but not drunk enough to not know exactly what's going on.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're not going to agree on any of that part because you like the Macross Plus soundtrack. You bought it. So,
yeah.
Whereas I just didn't like it at all. Like, I couldn't imagine being in that world and going to that concert.
Oh, I would.
Also, the whims of this universe that in 5 years we went from Sharon Apple being the top number one musician to Firebomber is the number one position. Those are wildly different sounds. Like, I can't imagine electronica being number one and then going to like Ozzy Osbourne being number one within 5 years.
In the 90s, you had grunge for the first couple of years, and then you had electronica took off, and then within
but being number
years,
one, the number one bestseller in the world, that's a crazy shift in musical tastes. Like, everybody must have gotten burnt out on electronica in 5 years. Like, let's go back to the 80s when Earth was still around. I mean, when everything on Earth was back normal.
Yeah, before the war.
Back when there was that girl, number one singer, she wears white, carries flowers.
Yeah, guess so.
She's fucking immortal for all we know.
And that's the thing. It's like, oh, you have fire. I mean, I can fire girl, flower girl. Flower girl exemplifies everything good and bad of the series. If you go like, she's just a girl with the flowers that happens to be a fan, and you go with that vibe, no problem. But if you think like, what is she doing there?
She's there at every location, even outside the hospital.
The moment you start asking, but who is she and what is she doing? You're like, oh, that's a rabbit hole you don't want to go into.
And the fact that she was at the end of Space War 1.
Well, according to the wiki, I think. Right?
No, it's from one of the, I think it's a novelization.
So, whatever. And it's like, I never read in a novelization, so I don't know how much canonical that is anyway. But it's like, hey, if you don't ask any questions, you just go like it's just a Saturday morning cartoon. This is a guy with a guitar and a giant mech kicking butt and trying to save the galaxy. Sure. If you go and disconnect, it's going to be fine. But the moment you start asking questions like, who is this girl? Where did she come from? Why she's always there? What's the deal with the flowers? Why nobody, acknowledges until the very end? Well, people acknowledge it because they bump into her and stuff like that, right? Why she even in the intro? in a pseudo romantic triangle with Basara and Gamblin instead of being, Mylene, right? It's like, huh? Right? The moment you start asking questions, it goes down the drain.
Not a novel. It was the Super Dimension Fortress Macross Inside Story, Macross Classic, is a Raidimation drama episode. I don't know what a Raidimation is.
Reanimation or reanimation?
Raidimation, R-A-D-I-mation.
Redimation.
Raidimation, FMC. What is Raidimation? Raidimation is EMC test software, specifically for EMC. I don't know what it is. Based on Super Dimension Fortress Macross television series and released on August 21st, 1996 by Victor Entertainment. In the mid to late 90s, there was Macross radio show called Anime Express that ran concurrently with the Macross 7 television series. It was primarily a talk show hosted by Akiko Nakagawa, who voiced the Flower Girl and Civil. So, if you wanted to hear her voice, she hosted a radio show. During its broadcast, several series of radio dramas were aired, with each episode consisting roughly 10 minutes, which when combined formed a feature-length story.
Okay.
Let's see. Series Sans Miria, I guess Milia, and tells a story during the lost 2 years between episodes 27 and 28. Was there a time jump? Did I forget a time jump? There was
Macross 7?
Yeah, there was lost. Oh, wait. No, wait. Oh, sorry. This is from Super Dimension Fortress Macross. So, yeah, time jump. Now I'm remembering. Sorry, I was putting that in context with Macross 7. SDF Macross did have a time jump between 27 and 28. It ties in with the various Macross productions made in the 90s, as it features both Millyard Johnson as a Skull Squadron pilot and the Flower Girl. How she lived up to AD 2045 to be a fan of Firebomber is unexplained.
Yeah. Okay. Good for them, I guess.
Oh. Millyard Johnson is, if you don't remember, do you remember? Do you remember, Love?
I do remember Love.
Millyard Johnson. Millyard Johnson was the commander in Macross Plus.
Yeah, the one guy lost his leg.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was part of Skull Squadron as part of this. Also, if you look him up on his wiki, it also says he was part of Skull Squadron. But, yeah. So, apparently, there's a whole story about that guy with Flower Girl at the end of Space War 1, and when that guy was in Skull Squadron.
Gets weirder and weirder. Listen, okay. Like I said, for the series, I don't know. There's Macross 7 trash. There's Macross 7 bunch of other stuff. We're gonna start to see it, and we'll see how it goes. But
well, trash we won't, because unless we're doing manga reviews.
Okay, yeah. A Macross Classic.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I keep calling Flower Girl immortal.
I guess, yeah. If we go by that, and if it's canon, then sure.
I mean, it involves the actual people that were in the shows, so.
I mean, it doesn't mean that it's canon.
I don't know. I just said twice in a row. It was broadcast on radio, and these people are very big on copyright, so I have to assume they had authority to do it.
No, I'm not saying that it was done off the books. I'm saying that it might not be. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is done by, like, Expanded Universe is not canon. And it was done officially. It was never canon. People think it was, but it wasn't. Expanded Universe of Star Trek is also not canon, never has been. It's beta canon. So you can have stuff that it's, attached to the property and not be canon.
Yeah, but I don't know you're not declaring it's not canon, though.
I'm not. I can't. Either way.
Yeah.
I'm saying it could be canon. I'm not sure if it is canon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you can't say that it's not canon, then it might be canon.
Either way. Just makes it even more weird. It's like, oh, yeah. But she talks there and narrates, but here she just barely says a word. The entire series.
After the devastation of Space War I left nearly the entire world in ashes, the slow, arduous reconstruction began. For some inexplicable reason, Flower Girl is present during this time period.
I wonder if we see her again. Maybe she's some kind of connecting thread across the entire series, starting in Macross 7.
I mean, she couldn't
The child of what's her name? From Zero.
Which one?
The two main characters that disappeared.
Oh, I thought you meant, well, because Sarah's sister, whose name is escaping me right now. I thought maybe you meant like that, but even then, I don't know.
Sarah Nome and what's his name?
It doesn't really connect everybody though. Just because she was there during the time period doesn't make her connected to the SDF Macross stuff.
She's a watcher now. She's watching over humanity. I don't know.
Mao was her name. Mao Name.
Mao Name. Anyway, that was the series Macross 7.
But it also does connect Macross Plus to another thing. That was my concern about connecting Macross Plus to anything, is that none of those characters get connected. But we brought back the VF-17, no 19,
and the 19 and 21, both of them.
Technically not the 21.
Yeah, it was because that was
it's technically not the 21. Sorry,
it is.
There's a little spoiler leak in my head. That's the VF-22 actually.
Oh,
so it's not the reason why he's not controlling it. Well, he is controlling it with his head, but he's not really. They made a new control system, so he doesn't have to be like super in depth in control. He can do it by hand and with the other thing.
It's a hybrid system.
Yeah, sort of. That's why it's the 22 and not the 21. I knew it wasn't the fucking 21.
I'm also that one got destroyed, but still. So yeah, that was Macross 7. It was a thing. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I get into it, because the whole guitar thing and singing and
okay, here's the thing.
I was prejudiced, brother.
Of the shows we watched, right? 0 plus Macross. I don't know how to say that one. And 7, 4 shows. Rank them.
SDF 1, 0, Macross Plus 0, 7.
So OG plus 0 and then
0.
Okay. I think I'd go 0. 0 is still my favorite.
I mean, Plus and 0 are neck and neck.
I mean, obviously my last one is going to be Plus. But I actually don't know where I put 7 and SDF Macross. I enjoy SDF Macross's more serious nature, but at the same time, I really like Macross 7's music more. There's certain inconsistencies of the time frame that made SDF Macross as confusing to me as Macross 7 was. I was right about a lot of Macross 7 stuff. I don't know. Maybe I put them both on the same tier. Maybe mine's only 3 deep. Macross 0, SDF, OG Macross, and Macross 7 on the same tier, and then Macross Plus.
I put Plus and 0 on the same tier, neck and neck.
I think for me, Macross Plus sits on like the same level of animated shows as like Aeon Flux. Weirdly adult, but at the same time kind of off-putting a little bit.
I think Aeon Flux started as very weird and interesting, and then just became kind of like mundane.
Well, it was always weird and interesting. Like, it doesn't go anywhere from that. What's the next weird, interesting thing I'll see? And that way it sucks you in, but at the same time, there's like weirdly sexual and like weirdly BDSM oriented, and then the art style is very weird too. It's just like I said, it's slightly off-putting but interesting. That's the same feeling I got from Plus, because it felt like the character
now
style.
you think about it, the Macross style is similar, not entirely so, but it has an early to mid 1990s vibe. That
It's a 90s show.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Yep. That was our final episode of Macross 7 the series. Now we delve into what remains. But for now, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?